back and win the WWE title, but if you've noticed, people have been defending that championship The Rock premiered shortly after he won the championship from CM Punk earlier this year at the Royal Rumble. So that's leaving us with the impression and the thought in our minds that The Rock will come back to win the WWE Championship from a superstar like Randy Orton or somebody even like Brock Lesnar, because that's his championship that he premiered in January of this year. Since The Rock lost the title at WrestleMania 29, we've seen the championship be put on people like John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and other superstars in the WWE, except for The Rock. It's kind of like they're holding on to his championship out of respect to his legacy till The Rock returns to regain the WWE title. Now, The Rock, rumors of his retirement have been floating around professional wrestling news websites. I don't see The Rock retiring, because The Rock did not indicate in any interviews for WWE Magazine, any interviews outside of the WWE, that he would be retiring. And until The Rock comes out on live television and announces his retirement, I will not believe The Rock is retiring. We have heard countless rumors of The Rock's retirement. Even wrestling critics have speculated on The Rock's retirement on professional wrestling news websites. I have this to say to you: it has not come into fruition, nor has it been confirmed. So until The Rock himself either announces on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, or on TV that he is retiring and being inducted into the Hall of Fame, let's say the following year in 2015 perhaps, until that happens, until it's confirmed, I will not believe it, because I believe The Rock came back and he made a promise to wrestling fans in 2011. And for those of you who have forgotten what that promise is, The Rock said that he went away for 7 years to achieve more outside of the WWE. The wrestling fans never gave up on him. They always believed in him. He thanked them for their endless amount of support that they had given him over the past 7 years, because they didn't have to do it, and he gave them their word that he would never ever go away again. And I think that's a promise that he needs to hold to wrestling fans, and The Rock will come back to have at least one more match, if anything, even if he doesn't come back full time to the WWE, which obviously he's not going to. I think that he owes wrestling fans at least one more match, and I think I speak for all Rock fans when I say that he at least owes us one more match, whether it be against Randy Orton, whether it be against Brock Lesnar, even if it be against someone like Ryback or Sheamus. He owes us that one match. One of the best Rock promos that I've ever seen put together for The Rock actually was aired at WrestleMania 29 as part of the pay-per-view, where they had a number of Rock fans. They had literally about 50 or 60 Rock fans in this video package, either doing a Rock promo or doing a Rock impression, saying they were one of the millions of fans The Rock had obtained throughout his over 16-year run with the company. And at the end of the promo, there was one kid that said he was one of the people, and at the end of the video, The Rock said he was the People's Champion. That was one of the most heartfelt promos that WWE had ever comprised for The Rock's career, but it really summed up what The Rock has meant to the wrestling business. I know people like Diamond Dallas Page, who are the self-proclaimed People's Champion from their early years in professional wrestling, have claimed to be the People's Champion, but in my opinion, there's one definitive People's Champion, and that is The Rock. And really, there's no one else who can kind of hold a candle to everything The Rock has accomplished in professional wrestling. He was really one of the first breakout stars to go to Hollywood. He was one of the first people to define an era, and that was the era of Attitude. And if not for him, superstars like John Cena probably would have never gotten a break in the professional wrestling business. And these new talented superstars realize that, and that's why we're seeing The Rock's championship continuously defended on television. Now, whether or not this match with Brock Lesnar, if it happens, will be for the WWE Championship, has yet to be confirmed. Right now, Brock Lesnar is in no position to challenge for the championship. Rumors are Brock Lesnar will make his next pay-per-view appearance at the Royal Rumble in 2014, because he's only contracted to appear at major events like the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And following the Royal Rumble, the next time we'll see Brock Lesnar compete will be at WrestleMania 30 with an opponent that has yet to be determined. And I am saying it's going to be The Rock. And what I am saying is just a prediction. Don't take anything out of context that I've said for this week's video blog distribution on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/JonathanClarke22, because what I am stating is just a prediction from the point of view of a radio show host, a columnist, and most of all, a wrestling fan for the past 17 years. I've been watching wrestling ever since I can remember, and I've been making predictions my entire life when it comes to this business. I just love to get in on the conversation just as many of the millions of you do. And one of the things that I've really been a fan of over the past number of years, at least for the last 2.5, is the comeback of The Rock, because I really believe he's made one of the biggest comebacks in wrestling history. This is a comeback The Rock didn't have to make because he was having unprecedented success outside of the professional wrestling business from at least 2009 to 2011. He was having the heights of unprecedented success with his movie career. He did not need to come back to the WWE. I know this because I saw many of The Rock's films outside of the WWE. If The Rock was going to come back to do anything for WWE, you would have expected it to be for a role in a WWE film, not compete against John Cena in the main event of WrestleManias 28 through 29, much less be on the cover of WWE 2K14, which is his latest accomplishment since his return to the WWE and latest accomplishment since his loss at WrestleMania 29. WWE referred to The Rock as someone who was deserving of being on the cover of WWE 2K14, and many wrestling fans might choose to look at it as taking away from other wrestlers who deserve a cover of a WWE video game, like the CM Punks or the Sheamuses of the WWE, who are there every night wrestling day in and day out. But The Rock certainly has done a lot, and he's probably done more, not only for the past 2.5 years, but he's done more than any legend in the WWE for the past at least decade. Although he might not have been there all the time, The Rock's always had some kind of involvement with professional wrestling, and this business is something that is deeply ingrained in The Rock's blood. So to say this is it for The Rock kind of is an insult not only to The Rock but to his entire family's legacy. I mean, his family goes through many generations of professional wrestling, from High Chief Peter Maivia, The Rock's grandfather, to his father Rocky Johnson. I mean, his career spans a number of generations. So to kind of say that The Rock sold out, he left the WWE to pursue another career choice outside of professional wrestling because he wanted to achieve more, in my opinion, to say that he's a son of a bitch because he turned his back allegedly on wrestling fans is kind of just jumping to conclusion. I mean, The Rock, no matter if he was wrestling or he was in a movie, was always entertaining you, and he always found a new way to captivate and entertain you, and that's something that's really stood out about The Rock, and something that's kind of put him in a category that separates him from every other legend in the WWE. I mean, The Rock has made history, and he's definitely a deserving Hall of Fame inductee in years to come. It might not happen in 2014, 2015, but it will happen in years to come because The Rock's career is far from over. And one thing that WWE Magazine referenced in a recent article where The Rock was on the cover of that month's issue of WWE Magazine, which you can also subscribe to by going to mag.wwe.com, he said that this was just the beginning and we needed to hold onto our seats because some of the most electrifying moments have yet to be witnessed by wrestling fans. And one of those electrifying moments could happen as early as WrestleMania 30 when he goes one-on-one with Brock Lesnar. Now, we have talked about The Rock versus Brock Lesnar as somewhat of a series. We've even written it into our storylines here on our website for our fantasy section, The Rock versus Brock Lesnar in the best of 5 series. And I've kind of given you a prediction as to who would win a dream match between The Rock and Brock Lesnar. Along with The Rock and Brock Lesnar's dream match, that is not the only dream match we have offered our opinion on. We've also talked about The Undertaker versus Sting, CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and even matches like The Undertaker and who his opponent would be at WrestleMania 30, regardless if it was Kane or The Rock or John Cena. We've talked about numerous opponents The Undertaker could have for WrestleMania 30. We've even thrown in Ryback and Sheamus as possibilities. Either way, no matter what the match card is for this year's WrestleMania coming up in 2014, it's a celebration of 30 years of WrestleMania. And my question is, how can you have 30 years of WrestleMania celebrated without legends like The Rock, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and Triple H? The answer to that question is a definitive yes. You need to have these wrestlers there in some kind of capacity, if not a competitive role, in some kind of role that will make them stand out at WrestleMania. If you're not going to have Shawn Michaels face Daniel Bryan, at least have Shawn Michaels be the special guest referee of a match. If you're not going to have CM Punk face Stone Cold Steve Austin, at least have Stone Cold Steve Austin involved in a storyline that involves CM Punk, with how much this match has been teased, especially after the launch of last year's game, WWE 13, in the fall of 2012. They started teasing this match. Nothing was ever done with it since the launch of WWE 13, which at that time was expected to be the biggest WWE game of all time in the way of sales, because Stone Cold Steve Austin was a playable character in the Attitude Era and was on the back of the WWE 13 video game case for both the PS3 and Xbox 360 video game consoles. This year it's The Rock one superstar up from CM Punk, and this video game has already sold millions of copies, outselling any top sports game that's released on a yearly basis, including NBA 2K, NFL 2K, NHL 2K, and many other sports titles that have been dropped by sports developing companies such as EA and of course 2K, which are a number one selling sports organization when it comes to video games worldwide. So The Rock certainly has accomplished a lot, and there's really no reason why this match can't happen. Again, it's just a prediction, and it's not to be confirmed or to be taken out of context. I just think The Rock versus Brock Lesnar is a match that's been over a decade in the making, and it's a match that needs to happen. It's certainly a match, I think I speak for everyone, that wrestling fans have wanted to see for years, and with WrestleMania 30 being a celebration of over 30 years of WrestleMania, why not have this match? There's really no reason, with both of these icons under Legends contract, that this match can't happen in New Orleans, the most colorful city in the United States of America, and one of the biggest venues of all time for a WrestleMania to take place in. I believe this year's WrestleMania is actually going to be taking place outdoors to add a little special feel to the event as well, and with The Rock not competing since WrestleMania 29, I think this is the perfect form and perfect opportunity for The Rock to return and kind of rekindle his legacy, which he left behind following his loss to John Cena at WrestleMania 29. In the minds of a lot of wrestling fans, he didn't achieve his legacy of being one of the greatest of all time. He didn't go down in history. Many people believe that The Rock kind of, let a lot of people down